Okay, so I'm ballparked in there pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the axle now. Remember, the left-hand side's 1.25 inches, and the nut on the other side is 1 5/16. Right, chirping belts. We're at the point now we need to align it before we lock her down tight. Our belts, if they rub on this here piece, on these side pieces, they will chirp. I had an old belt that was really bad, and it took me a long time to get it figured out, and finally I figured out my belt had a bend in it. We won't talk about that. It took me a long time to figure it out. Adjusting your belt and aligning it was to take a clothes hanger, hook it around here, take it apart, put like a grommet or a rubber band on there, and hook your clothes hanger from here, straighten it out, and then wherever the center of the bolt here hits is where you put your rubber band. Then you go to the other side and hook to the same place. This is the swing arm. And go to the other side and do the same thing with the center of the bolt there. Believe it or not, that doesn't really work. I found that out after many years of a squeaky belt, and my buddy Phil in Pennsylvania told me to get it off the ground where I could see the wheel and spin it and see which way it sits. If it sits this way, adjust accordingly, or if it sits that way, same thing. So we'll spin it and see where we're at, see if we're close. And to me, it looks like it's I'm not sure, folks. What do you think? It looks like it's centered. And my belt tension is really loose, so we'll start cranking up a little bit on each side, just a little bit. Maybe 5 turns on each side. There's 6. I'll know more when I ride it, and I probably won't be riding it till spring. Hopefully I'll remember that when I get on the bike, or somebody wants to go for a ride, and I don't get on there and it starts bucking and everything. Bucking or chirping. Alright. Now, because I switched my bolt around since the last time I took it off, I don't have a socket to fit this side, which is 1 1/4 inches. I have a socket to fit this side, which is 1 5/16 inches. So I'm just going to basically eyeball it in. I've done it many times. It's really, I think it's like 90 pounds. So I've done it before and I've had really good luck. I'll look it up. There we go. I'll put my world famous Jesus clip on there. There we go. And we'll put the belt guard back on, and we'll put the disc brake back together. The belt guards are pretty soft. In fact, you can probably see the wrinkle in it already. My other one, I wrinkled it so bad it actually tore. So I'm putting a larger stainless steel bolt washer on there just to spread the pressure out a little bit against it. I guess that's just really soft steel or really thin steel or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but it can be an issue. You can put a ding in it real quick without thinking about it. And you watch me take the off of there, Loctite. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm spreading this out with a chrome washer, the weight that I'm pushing down on this guard. Belt guard, because it'll ding it. As you can see, this has been dinged, but it's not torn. My other one got torn. I'm spreading the weight out on it, and that seems to help a ton. And that's plenty good. Nope. Let's tighten that booger up in there. That's that 1/2 inch hiding in there. 1/2 inch you can't see. Get these brakes hooked up. I'm going to put some regular bolts in there instead of the button heads. Tired of fighting button heads. Got to split those shoes to get around on both sides of this. That's what I was doing there. So I need a 9/16. Yep, I'm gonna need 9/6 zippy. Well, I thought I was really outsmarting the engineers by putting these hex bolts in. Now I found out why, possible reason why they got button heads in there. You can't get a socket in there. I got never sees on there. Oh, by golly, we got her now. Now, let's get that brake line back on there. If I remember right, it curved a little this way. Yeah. I think that's a, oh, it is a 9/16. Perfect. Okay, everybody, remember, my crush washer's on that banjo. Okay, I'm back in the shop for day 3. Last piece of video showed reassembling the rear, getting the tire back on, tightening the belt, all that good stuff. And we watched me struggle with a button head bolt, and I whined about it quite a bit in the last episode. I get kind of winded. So we're going to tackle today the front brakes. Now, okay, so just review yourself what you were looking at in the pictures. Here's your bracket that mounts to the axle for the brake caliper, and then there's this swing arm up here, as you can see. Now, if you look really close, I think you might see it through here. Everything up there is really tight on that tire. In other words, we probably couldn't drive through much mud through this with this bike without screwing something up if the fender wells got full. And you need to know about that up there. This tire will clear all of that up there. You ain't gonna have to worry about it, I believe. You don't need to worry about that. Should be able to take that off, take the caliper off, and this tire will float out. Pretty good size. I'm gonna have to lube her up a little bit. There's the axle. And there we are.
Here's your spacer.
It came out on the other side. It goes in here.
And then the brake bracket
has its own spacer. And it's out. See this stuff up here? This is that stuff. You really want to be careful with what you got going on, because if this is done wrong, it's going to rub a tire. Everything's so minimal clearance through here. Keep that in mind. As you can see, without dropping the rockers, the caliper will clear the tire. You just got to handle everything at once. Now getting it back on, especially for me, it's going to be a little bit tougher. I'll probably get it closer to the ground, and I'll sit on the ground to put it back in there because my back is just plain ass grumpy. But that's where we're at so far. Hopefully everybody understands it's a lot simpler than the rear one, that's for sure.